Oh, I got to thinking about the old ball and chain, the enslavement of an American citizen that's doing too good for himself. Nothing like sewing a wife into his personal life so as to get him to think that he's in love when he's not because of the use of technology. Ouch. It could have been that Georgia might have been on Heidi that one time that we had sex before we got married. Yeah. Now, when you sew a fish into a person's private life so as to cause them an immense amount of harm and hurt and pain, and you actually violate the laws of the United States, you violate maritime laws, you violate the laws of the United States military. It always makes you think about, well, what happens if you get her pregnant? Well, of course, I loved her. She sewed into me. She gave me that impression that the love we have for each other would last a lifetime. But, as so often happens when consummating the relationship, you impregnate the woman that sewed into you and intended to cause as much pain and suffering as possible while making it appear like nothing's going on. Decades worth of pain and suffering because of the top secret fish family that wants to destroy the lives of American citizens. Well, it turns out when I bought a home in 323 West 1st Street in Sequim, Washington, pooch, it could be that the impregnating of my wife numerous times and having 5 biological sons means that one of my sons might have ended up going to daycare. Cacao, cacao. Did Benjamin ever go to daycare while you were getting your master's degree so you could be a teacher? Now I'm thinking, yeah, that I'm going to need to know every child that's been in every daycare everywhere in the nation for the last 20 years. Could you give me the actual business licenses of every daycare right now? I just want to know what kind of computer systems daycares have. Let's say you're sewn into a little baby because a man was sewn into a matched marriage and they had a sewn baby so as to give the man the impression that of course she loves you. She didn't sew into you. Georgia, her fish twin. It wasn't like I was the one that once a month after we got married when we actually consummated the relationship that Heidi was always having sex during her ovulation. I gotta tell you something right now. I had learned to live with the nightly milking of my penis, and it could be that Heidi only had sex when ovulating so as to cause pregnancies to happen when they were sown to have them happen. Now, I know my 5 biological sons would never want to think that their mother had used the fish family to decide what ovary was going to be used to cause their conception. But I'm thinking that, considering how we didn't really have intercourse more than once or twice a month, and it must have been during ovulation, I didn't keep track of Heidi's actual menstruation cycle. I kind of trusted her that whenever she said, well, I'm good to go, then we'd do it, and then if she didn't, well, a hand job never hurt. Ouch! Now I'm gonna need to know all the orgasms of myself for the last 17 years. I gotta talk to you for a second. I found out about the come to find out milking of the man that was sewn into the ball and chain. Uh, what did Heidi actually know about my private life, and did the fish family decide the ovaries that were fertilized using my sperm? And is Benjamin like a special ovary that she had? It's an ova, and that was in her ovary. Because when I think about when she got pregnant, I think maybe we had. Well, Benjamin was born in September. It must have been November. Now, if you go back 9 months after the conception of each child, yes. No, after the birth of each child, there's what's called a gestation. And Most babies cook in the belly for about 9 months. Now, I just wanted to know, did Heidi and her fish family relatives have anything to do about what ova was used to conceive my 5 biological sons? Ooch.